Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana versus Ricochet was next up, Brian. And are they ribbing Swerve now that I've seen people get marching bands and string choirs, or not string choirs, but string orchestras and choirs and all kind of rock and roll bands and all kinds of musical accompaniment on their entrance on big shows. But have you ever seen one unknown drummer play a guy's fucking music to the ring?
Here's a bigger question. If done right, that works well. Nothing like a great drummer. Imagine if they had Gene Krupa there. Nothing like a great drummer.
Oh, Buddy Rich would like a word.
Oh, yeah. Well, he'd like a fist, too. He's a tough guy, Buddy Rich. Did the drums work for the song? It didn't work. It didn't go with the song. So then, like, he's just banging away back there, and you can hear him, and then the song's going, and it just didn't seem like it worked or meshed well together.
When you think of Swerve's music, Swerve when I drive, and it's kind of like it's the rapish, it's the urban, it's the hip hop, it's that. Do you think of drums?
Exactly. Keith Moon couldn't play on that track. John Bonham would have said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's not the right place for a drummer.
Only Ringo Starr, I think, could have made that work.
Did they identify the drummer? Was it even a famous drummer? I'm not even sure who it was.
I don't know what he just did the drums, and then here came Swerve, and the guy was drumming the drums while Swerve was swerving.
Missed opportunity to use one of the drums in a match?
No, well, if it's a missed opportunity, it's the only one they missed. And probably that poor guy said, "Fuck you, you're not breaking my fucking drums. I need this in the park on Sunday afternoons. Make my rent." So anyway, they rang the bell. Swerve and Ricochet. What have I said about guys' worst instincts? Where when you get one of the gymnasts in with a guy who can work, he'll be calmed down, and Osprey's a classic example. When you get him with MJF and he can't do all the double foolishness and his shit has to make sense, he's a heck of an athlete and you can apply it to wrestling. When you get two guys that their whole thing is they want to outdo each other with the hokey, kung fu movie scenes, they nailed all their cartwheels and their round-offs and their backflips and their leg slaps perfectly. That's all the shit that they have fun doing. But what looks like shit is their punches, their kicks, any basic wrestling move like a chin lock, and any timing and any sense of the flow of the match rather than getting in the video game moves against each other. That's what suffers with these guys. And also the overbookingness of Tony thing. I don't know whether it's them or whether it's Tony or what, but at this point, does Nana not look like the biggest prick ever? Does Swerve not look like he ought to just tell his fucking useless bastard to hit the bricks? They've made Nana almost ineffectual physically and not even trying most of the time, made him look like a pussy. But then he bows up and tells Swerve, "You better get my robe back. I've done a lot for you." What? You got your ass kicked for him because you would fight back. And then even in this match, Nana tries to pull him off the fucking guy on the floor so he can tell him to get back in the ring, and Swerve loses his temper and shoves Nana down. Well, okay, but then Nana walks off on him and leaves the guy and stays in the back for the rest of the match until he comes out and tries to fucking steal his robe back. Like the robe's more important than whether Swerve's getting his fucking head caved in. And then after Swerve wins and gets the fucking robe back, he gets on his knees and presents it to Nana like Nana's the king instead of the prince. This story is so, what the fuck? If friends like that, I don't need enemas.
I actually thought, and I maybe still think it would have been the better option.
Nana turned on him.
I thought Nana was going to turn and go with Ricochet.
Yeah.
And all three of them were wearing white. You know, and I've been kind of paying attention to the colors, especially after the Jade Cargill segment. The colors people come out with and the colors people are wearing. Usually it's white for a babyface, black clothes for a heel. Everyone was wearing white here, so it was kind of ambiguous. And when Nana left, and then when he finally came back, I was like, oh, this is the time for Nana to turn. And it didn't happen. And that would have been the best thing for Nana, I think.
Yeah. It would have given him something to do, and people would have given a shit. At the same time, it might have made fucking Ricochet interesting, which ain't going to ever happen. But anyway, that was the match, is that there was a long, awkward struggle on where they were balancing on the ropes, but then they jumped off without doing anything. So I think they lost it. And they tried they did a big move on the Spanish announce desk, and that table didn't budge. I thought it looked like they hit a frying pan. At one point, Ricochet did a 450 off the top and landed back first right on top of Swerve with every bit of his fucking weight. And then not only got a 2 count, but also, what the fuck? What do I tell you about these fucking lunatics spinning around off the top rope and just landing wherever? And then they did the bit with the robe. And when Nana stole the robe, Ricochet dove out on him and knocked him down, and then took the robe back and put it on. And then Swerve dove out on Ricochet, and Ricochet tried to catch him over his shoulders in a fireman's carry for probably a Death Valley driver on the desk or whatever. But Swerve was going too fast, and Ricochet's weaker than cat's piss, and he lost him and dropped him on the floor head first, and then fell on the side of Swerve's face. And that could have broken his neck twice in a space of 2 seconds. And then again, Ricochet does a big move and gets a 2 count, and Nana grabs the robe, and they have a tug of war with the robe with Nana and Ricochet. And Swerve rolled Ricochet up, but Ricochet kicked him off, and Swerve stopped short in front of squishing Nana in the turnbuckles. And then Ricochet came up from behind with the roll up and pancaked Nana in the corner and rolled Swerve up, and Swerve kicked out and then gave him a kick to the head and then gave him the other kick to the head. Second kick to the head is whatever they call his kick to the head, and covered him and got a 2 count. And I'm, Jesus Christ. And then he picked Ricochet up and hit him with some big fucking whoop-de-doo. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Jesus, why was that necessary? They had the momentum. They had the tug of war with the manager. They had the manager pancaked. They had the roll-up and the kick out. And then Swerve kicked him in the head. Boom, cover, 1, 2, 3. Don't kick him in the head again and then pick him up and hit him with something else. Now you've lost your fucking momentum. And also, you've just beat the guy flat when you didn't need to beat him flat, because they would have been happy to see him beaten with the little out of the fucking roll up and the pancake and the blah, blah, blah. They can't stop themselves from doing too much shit. And Ricochet's not smart enough to the wrestling business to realize that instead of being beaten on a fluke where the Swerve kicked out after the pancake of the manager and then kicks him in the head from behind, and he gets kicked in the head again, and then he gets picked up and just beat. So he's a fucking idiot. Have I made this point?
Crystal clear.
20 minutes, bell to bell, again. And then Swerve got the robe, and Nana came in the ring, and Swerve knelt down and gave it to Nana, and then they hugged. Because, I don't know what the fuck. Anything you'd like to add? Or
No, not really. Like I said, I thought it was the time for a Nana turn. It would have made sense. It would have made Nana, it would have refreshed Nana. It would have been good for Ricochet. I don't think Swerve needs a manager at this point. But they went in a different direction, and by the end of the night, they'll go in a new direction with Swerve.
Well, the direction he came by the end of the night was down, plummeting faster than a stone, but we'll get there.